So, Steve, you saw the movie Rings, multiple rings, and Charlie, you saw Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. So, if there's nothing to be said on those movies, I guess we'll just find out which one I think sounds good.
Gooder? Sounds gooder.
Sounds gooder. Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Steve. Yeah.
Are you ready for Movie Versus? Welcome to Movie Versus, the podcast where we pin two terrible movies in an all-out battle for the best of the worst. Here are your hosts, Tyler Lamb, Charlie Pixley, and Steve Janik. All on Movie Versus.
Hey everybody, my name is my name isn't Movie Versus. This is Movie Versus.
And this is Tyler Lamb.
And my name is Tyler Lamb.
No, your name is Movie Versus.
Oh shit, I'm Movie Versus, and
And this is
welcome
Tyler.
welcome to Tyler Lamb, the show,
Like Charlie said.
the podcast,
Mr. Versus.
the
PhD.
podcast in defense of bad movies. I'm joined by my co-host Steve Janik. Steve, how's it going, Steve?
It's going pretty good. Got to see a movie this week. I always love when it's movie time for me.
It's always fun going to the theaters. And then again via Skype is my other co-host Charlie Pixley. What's up, Chuck?
Yo. I also saw a movie this weekend.
He
Congrats.
seems far less excited than I do about it.
You'll see.
He brought visual aids.
But the rest
he's
of everybody
got a
who
PowerPoint.
Actually, my goal is to make them feel.
All right. So, Steve, actually, you know what? No, Charlie, I'll start with you. Just give me a quick little plot synopsis of what's going on here in the final chapter.
Sure. So remember that I have not seen any of these beforehand. So they did do an intro in the beginning, which I was glad.
A la
that I knew.
Underworld.
Huh?
A la Underworld, where they recap every
yeah,
movie
exactly.
so far.
So I guess in the last movie, they were trying to stop everything in Washington, D.C., but it all ended up being a trap. So this
Yeah,
one
where
picks
Wesker
up-
didn't kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one picks up after that, and Alice is by herself, and she ends up finding like an old computer station, and the program that does all like the main security system for the Umbrella Corporation. It's called the Red Queen.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
she was ever met. Okay.
It's in the first one, yeah.
Okay, she
and
starts
it's
helping out Alice, and Alice, of course, is like, well, why should I trust you? You know, you've screwed me over beforehand. And she's like, I'll explain everything in good time, but you
The Red
have
Queen's
no
like,
reason
off with her
to-
head.
You have no reason,
them eat
or
cake.
you have nothing else really to live for at this point, so you might as well try something. So she ends up trying to go back to Raccoon City, where it all started and everything.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I've never seen it. So.
Well, I mean, it starts
could be lying.
underground in the Umbrella Corps, but I guess that's in.
No, I mean, that's where they go back. the
yeah.
hive.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's going back, and she meets some people along the way, and the Red Queen has said that there is an antivirus that they made, and it explains it. I'll get into it later why it exists, because when I first heard that, I was like, okay, that's just them being like, well, here's how we get our happy ending out of the movie or whatever. But
Yeah.
I'm glad they explained it, and I'm glad for the first time too they go into Umbrella Corporation's motivations, because I've never really played any of the Resident Evil games. I never have seen any of the movies, so as far as I knew, Umbrella Corps just seemed like assholes just to be assholes.
Yeah, I've never gone through. The only Resident Evil games I've played so far are 4 and 7, and those are those are the ones that are like most distant from the Umbrella Corps.
because 4 is in like Africa, right?
It's in. I thought it was in like Spain or Mexico or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
And that's a virus that it's not even zombies really. For
I think
the most
5
part.
is in Africa.
And then
Even the
I
ones
think
here
so.
don't really seem like zombies. I mean, they kill people and they eat them and stuff, but it never seems like they really are eating them. They just like bite into them to kill them.
Yeah, I gotcha.
They're not like your standard
More
zombies.
like feral people than like consumers.
Yeah, and they're definitely fast. They
Nice.
are not slow trotting or anything. So she connects with some old friends. that
Michelle
also
Rodriguez?
happen to survive. Ali Larder's character. I don't know how many other movies she's been in.
Oh wait,
but
Michelle Rodriguez died, didn't she?
They show her though in a clip, like
okay,
in like the montage of everything.
And then Toretto shows up.
I gotta save my what? We will
She's
marry.
going back to Raccoon City to try and finish this and get this antivirus going and redistributed.
That's, by the way, that is the movie series I want, is the Resident Evil Fast and Furious crossover that shows
Resident Furious.
Yeah, if this ended with
Furious Evil,
with a car with like Alice about to die, and then a car just like lands and destroys, like runs over a bunch of zombies, and he peels out in front of her and just opens a door, and you hear get in. And then it's Dom Toretto. And then cut to black. Audience goes fucking ape shit.
Hey, to be fair though,
you mean the 3 people that went to a Resident Evil movie?
You could end any movie with that, and I think we'd all be like, hell yeah.
My mind would be just fucking like I know that people use this phrase a lot, but my mind would be blown. Would be what the fuck?
What if at the end of XXX, he's in trouble, and then same thing, Dom opens the door and is like, get in, and then the next movie it's XXX, it's Xander Cage.
Oh, we pretty much got the whole Cage.
Yeah, I was about to
the whole Xander Cage Vin Diesel universe planned out.
Yeah, Charlie and I actually have theorized how every single Vin Diesel movie is actually a part of the exact same universe, and we almost convinced one of his old roommates that...
Not almost.
Yeah, he did believe us for a little bit, and he kept asking questions like, well, what about this movie? And we'd be like, yeah, that's when Xander's on the run.
We should do a full episode about that.
Explaining how Babylon AD ties into...
Fastfire, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Iron Giant?
Giant get involved? No, because that's just the voice. But that one movie where he plays a bald guy who's like fat, and he's on like trial.
I can't remember what it's
I can't remember the name of that movie, but also
Boiler Room.
I was gonna say also Boiler Room is gonna be a part of it. We'll do a special bonus episode.
It's like the Nick Cage universe, but this one actually makes sense
and is true.
Yeah.
So continue with the Resident Evil plot. Yeah, let's continue on this track.
So they're going in, and there's obviously tons of... I'll just call them zombies. They're not zombies, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. There are tons of these zombies chasing them, and you run into the guy. I can't remember his name, but he's like the priest guy.
Is it the one from... It's not the guy from Game of Thrones, is it?
I don't... Maybe.
Oh, is he like the old guy?
Yeah,
okay.
He's the old guy, and I believe she was saying that she's killed clones of him before.
Yeah, okay,
and
yeah.
It kind of runs into an interesting part where you finally meet the original one, because all the original Umbrella Corps people are frozen, like cryogenically frozen underneath the hive.
I didn't know that.
And
I haven't seen a lot of these movies in a long time. I do remember her killing a bunch of the same guy while she was on that boat, like on the freighter. And I think that might have been Afterlife or Rebirth. And I don't know.
What's the name of the other guy? Winnick? Or the guy who looks like a video game character with the black shades and like...
Wesker?
Wesker, yeah.
Wesker, yeah, that's right. He's in it as well.
I think he's in every single one. I don't
remember him in the first one, but...
probably not then, yeah.
This dude does look like a video
No, he does. He 100% looks. He's got like, doesn't he have like blonde spiky hair?
No, it's like blonde slick back.
It's like poor rendering slicked back so that they don't have to do as many graphics.
Yeah, and then the sunglasses so they don't have to worry about his eyes.
And then the trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he 100% looks, and he almost kind of acts like...
Is anime real?
What if anime real life? And it really, he acts like a Resident Evil character as well, like especially the early Resident Evil games where it's like, I mean, I could see him being like, I'm a master of unlocking, and like he's very just like.
Well, there's a part like that where since the Red Queen is technically betraying Umbrella Corps, and he's working with the Red Queen still because it's still the security system. She's like, oh, they're entering the base now. Shall I activate automatic security systems? And it's like a total villain video game guy thing where he's like, no, put him in manual, I'll take care of this. And it's a targeting system, and he's like toying with him, like, wait, okay, release them or whatever.
I want to take a sidebar here to point out I've been playing Resident Evil 7, and they did actually. It's always funny to me when games can be like self-aware. I used a lockpick on something, and I got an achievement that was Master of Unlocking, and it's just kind of funny. It's like Capcom being like, "Yeah, that stuff was dumb back in the first Resident Evil."
Yeah,
it made no sense almost. So yeah, just continue with the plot.
Sure. I mean, they eventually get their way into the base. I don't know how much I really want to spoil of the ending.
Okay, but most of the movie is pretty much
and release the antivirus.
Okay,
to the rest of the world. There's only like a few settlements left, and there's a certain amount of time before everywhere is overrun.
And the base being the hive.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Huge
cool.
underground structure.
And Steve, give me a quick synopsis of Rings.
Okay, so the movie starts off with like in a lot of these horror movies where it's kind of like a chain of death. It starts off with just like some incidental death of someone that saw the video and died.
As in, you follow this character for a while who is like supposed to make you think they're the lead.
No,
character.
not even a little. He was introduced and dead within 2 minutes.
Oh,
pretty much.
Wow. Okay.
He's on a plane and he's talking to some girl and tells her about the video. And
Samara.
Like, no.
So yeah, I met this girl on the plane. I couldn't really see her face. It was covered with hair.
Sexy grunge look.
And was also 12-ish. But
I got a number.
No, I don't.
So he's telling someone about the video, and this girl on the plane was like, "I've seen the video. Did you make a copy of it?" And he's like, "No." And then he dies. Like he gets killed because it's like he's like in about
while on the plane.
Yeah.
He just like. Ugh.
Well, actually, like all the Samara just comes out and attacks him, and like he just dies like in the middle of the aisle because he's like running out and there's some turbulence and like falls down and like just in the middle of everything.
Okay.
So he sells his parents eventually sell his stuff, and Johnny Galecki, known for Big Bang Theory fame. Leonard, main character of...
Oh, wait. Leonard, isn't that the guy that was also in Roseanne?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
So
he's in this movie?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
He's a huge part of this movie.
Does he have the same exact haircut that he
Yes.
has had his entire fucking life?
Yeah, because he's not wearing his glasses.
And because he wishes he was French Stewart, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't know if he really wears glasses or I'm just like associating him with glasses at this point.
Bazinga.
Zimbabwe.
Bazorpal.
But he is a biology professor, and he buys an old VHS from that kid, from like that kid's estate, and he gets the video. And so he watches it, and then like it's a couple weeks later, and he's still alive. So I haven't seen any of the Ring movies before.
7 days after the video.
So it's 7 days, and I'm like, because they even in this movie they set up the 7-day mark.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, how is this?
And
guy
then they
alive?
immediately throw it out the window.
Yeah. No. But here's what happens. They find out that the tape is like the demon in It Follows. You can pass it off if you make a copy of the tape and show someone else the copy of it.
Okay, I feel like, but I felt, I feel
Why
like they
you
did
just
that.
Show the original.
I feel like
I think it specifically has to be a copy of it.
Okay, because I feel like
so the quality just gets shittier every time.
I almost feel like
he ends up putting it on digital. So like what he does is when he sees the video, he thinks he sees like basically divine stuff, and like he thinks this is proof of the soul. So he's conducting an experiment on this to try and do it. So he's got like this whole group of people where they're copying the video and passing it on further and further to see what's going, like to try and.
It's almost
like
the Final Destination shit, where it's like, hey, if you kill somebody in your place, you can. I feel like Charlie. I don't know if you remember the Ring 1 and 2 is.
Been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Same. But didn't they try to do that where they were like, hey, if we show somebody else, we can. Or am I just kind of making that up?
I don't remember that at all. But that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
I feel like I might just be mixing it up with other like horror. That has become kind of a slight horror trope, I guess, where it's like, hey, no, you can pass this on.
I will say I'm not sure like if someone ahead of you or like behind you dies, like I'm not sure if it then goes to back to the person previously. I don't know if you pass off the one shot or if you pass off the full.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I think since the Final Destination did it, it's kind of been used as a thing. Which, by the way, that was a great fucking movie. So go out and see the most recent Final Destination movie if you have not. Okay, it is awesome.
First one too, still.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So
they're all fun. I mean,
Yeah, they are. Especially the one where you get to choose in the DVD. Like,
God.
Your what you do next. It's like get on the roller coaster regardless, and then you just die. It's like movie's over.
Like, no, if you get on the roller coaster in a Final Destination movie, you earned your death.
Well, in Final Destination 3, the roller coaster is how everybody dies. Like that's the whole like I just had a vision where everybody died. And there's also like a huge plot hole because my roommate and I watched that quite recently, and there's a pretty big plot hole about a camera that fell and like started the whole thing, but then the guy with the camera either got off or he didn't drop it, and it still happened. So we were like, well, then how the fuck did this entire accident still happen?
Kevin looks like he's real upset by the thing that you're saying.
Well, Kevin, come over here real quick. Do you remember exactly what happened in Final Destination 3 that we said when he dropped the guy who dropped the camera that started the whole...
Hold on. Which Kevin is this?
No, this is roommate Kevin.
Okay.
It wasn't not the guy who dropped the camera that started the entire roller coaster crash. He like got off the roller coaster, so he never dropped the camera?
Correct. First of all, I want to say that the strap got wrapped around the entire roller coaster like rail, so that's an impossibility, which made us really freak out. And then he got off, and everything still happened. So we had no idea how that would work.
Yeah, so we're calling you guys out, Final Destination 3 writer and director. I know you're listening. Write in. You know what? Write in. Call. We'll get you on the cast so you can try to explain yourself.
Yeah. Which is never going to... Anyway. So,
look, bitch.
So Johnny Galecki is doing this whole experiment trying to figure out what's going on with this video and like the effects of passing it on and things like that. And this girl, her and her boyfriend, he goes off to college. She stays back to visit her mom or to stay with her mom because she's sick. He ends up getting in the program, and she comes out to find him because she gets a Skype call from another girl in the program and kind of tells her about it. So she goes out to find him, and she finds out that her boyfriend's in the process and that he's kind of running out on time. So she watches his video and takes over the video. And so like, okay, well, now you're involved. Now you're going to have to show someone a copy of your video.
That's a team player.
Right. Well, because he's got about 12 hours left to go, and he's like, they just have a nap. They're just like, oh, it's time for sleep. And I'm like, no, we need to talk to someone right now to get this video watched if I'm that guy. So anyway, she watches the video, and they try to copy it so that she can show someone her copy, but her video file is impossibly large. Like, there's video encrypted in her video somehow. Like, it just happens.
Okay.
And so she's got all these extra images that were never in any of the other videos that only she watches, and she tells them what's in it, and they're like, that's never happened before. So you find out that she's getting visions from Samara, and Samara's leading her to basically where she's buried so that she can be put to her final resting place. So Julia, the main character, she's going back to where Samara was born in like her area to try and track her down to release her from like basically being the cursed girl.
Okay, which is kind of, I guess that's kind of what she did in the other movies. But yeah.
Oh, is it?
It leads them
so.
to her burial ground.
Yeah,
the
well to be, yeah.
The ring.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Is that, are you done with the plot synopsis?
I'm still trying to decide if I want to kind of ruin the end.
Yeah, we can wait for that. Charlie's waiting, so we can wait
I'll wait
for extra stuff. So Charlie, I want to know how many laser dodges are there in this film? How many sequences of her dodging lasers are there? Because I mean, honestly, I don't think it's happened since the first one, and it's a welcome return. It should happen.
Well, okay, so there are two sequences. When they're back in the hive, she's back in that kind of
corridor,
square tunnel.
Yeah, which is where it took place in the first movie, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
like that's the exact spot.
I think so.
Oh,
if they're back in the hive, I would assume
They show like
so.
a flashback of it when she's walking in it, where she realizes where she is, but it's all decrepit and like it's super. All the walls are dirty and everything. She remembers it being. I think it's like
They
kind
show
of
a flashback.
Lights everywhere. Not a flashback. It's like a
recall.
But I mean, they show
a full sequence. No, but it's her just like a flash of the.
It was just different shots of her dodging lasers. Like, it wasn't a full scene.
Not even the lasers. It's just when she walks in the room, they show her eyes, and then she really quickly it shows like that room back the way it was.
I gotcha. So just
it wasn't like
kind of like how Steve said, like a recall.
It was a 20-minute sequence.
No, they actually
it was at the movie of her remembering the whole hive.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna say actually about halfway through the movie they play the first movie.
I've been here before.
So then she keeps going through it. She just realized, okay, I got to get out of here and keep going and stuff. But then the final battle with the
video game character
priest guy
okay.
Is in there, and there's a full sequence of laser fighting. And I was very impressed that there's
she did her own stunts,
stuff, and he's dodging it too because he's been getting all these physical upgrades and stuff while he was cryogenically frozen. So he's increased strength and. They did some stuff to his brain, so he has like predictive combat. Like he could kind of like a Midnighter or somebody where they can analyze what this person's gonna do. And
isn't that? Wait, what?
That's the gay Batman.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming it's like based on like the way their muscles are positioned. Like you'll see where the punch is coming from.
I mean, were you impressed that she did her own stunts because she had to because her stunt woman was almost murdered brutally?
A few of them I could tell it was a stunt person, but most of them it looked like it was her.
I'm gonna be honest. If I was a famous actor and my stunt person got like horribly maimed by the stunts, and they're like, "Hey, can you do your own stunts for this now because of that happening?" I'm like, definitely not.
No, to be honest though, I feel like she's. I mean, I could be just talking out my ass, but I do feel like she's the kind of actress that. She won't do all of her own stunts, but she'll do a good amount of her own
stunts. Doing them,
like unless it's like, okay, we want you to drive this motorcycle over a fucking flaming bridge while you do a backflip. I'm sure
most of the combat looked like it was her. I think there are some scenes on motorcycles
unless she says, "Hey, can I get degloved from the face for this?" and they say yes, she's doing it.
Anyway, on this laser sequence towards the end, the guy's got her on her knees and like has her hand bent. That one like.
No, the classic.
Yeah, bend the hand like that, and the laser's coming in an X pattern, but it's high enough where he can stand up and it'll just, the bottom half of the X will just pass over him, and he just holds her hand up and lets the laser go by and cut all her fingers off. And I was thinking she's gonna pull it. I know. I was thinking, could you see it coming? It's like a 15-second thing that she's gonna flip him and attack him or something like that. And nope, he just holds her up and it shows it just. Cut them all off and screams in pain. That they did a good job in this movie because she's badass in the movie. She kicks a ton of people's ass, but I'm glad that they didn't pull any punches. That guy and multiple guys in the movie are not afraid to beat the shit out of her because she is a formidable ass foe.
Oh, of course.
She beats the shit out of them too. So I mean, it seems like two people legit trying to kill each other, and for them to show all those figures just get burned off like
this whole series isn't a fucking Academy Award winning series or anything, but I think it's a lot of fun and she's a great lead action star especially for the scenario.
I couldn't really judge, but it made me care enough about it, especially that we had the little intro part where for people like me to go see it.
I think as far as a female action lead in these series, I think she's much better than Kate Beckinsale from Underworld.
Oh, yeah.
Like I really like.
I think it's almost kind of a shame that she's kind of locked up. She's been locked up in Resident Evil.
Well, because Fifth Element was so good.
She's amazing in Fifth Element.
Yeah, she's not a bad actress.
Granted, Beckinsale plays a vampire, but she has a better physical presence, I'd say, because her structure, her build's a little bit bigger than Beckinsale.
Yeah, she's
so
taller.
Tiny,
and
very small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
It's Jovovich, right?
I think it's Jovovich.
Yeah, it's Mila Jovovich.
Soft J.
Yeah,
Jovovich.
like
Jovovich.
Got like a hard face, if that makes sense. It's not ugly, but it's just like hard features. She looks
I know what you mean. She's an attractive person, but she looks intimidating.
Yeah, very intense.
She can look intimidating or intense, but yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
So yeah, lasers.
So yeah, how many lasers were there?
I mean, that was a good long fight sequence.
You didn't count the lasers?
Lots of different patterns.
Demerit to Charlie.
Think, man, if they can shoot them in all those different patterns, why wouldn't you just fire them all at once?
Because it looks cool.
No, because they only have enough power to run 4 lasers at a time, max.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Steve, how many rings were there? Or is this just a title to try to be like Aliens, where they're like, oh, we should do a sequel where we just put an S on the end?
Well, there's just the one.
Okay, but, so there's not an extra well.
Technically, there kind of is. There's like a secondary. So like the ring. I'm assuming the ring in the original movie is the light coming in from the well.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the revelation at the end of the movie, pretty much.
Right.
One of the big reveals, I guess.
So around halfway through this movie, they get to the town where Samara's from.
Oh shit! Halfway through it?
Yeah.
I guess since they already it's just retreading old ground, they're not gonna wait till the very end to do it. Yeah.
Right. So, but this is a little bit different. What we find out is she keeps having hallucinations. Well, she keeps having visions.
She is in
Julia, the main character.
Okay.
So she keeps seeing visions of this girl who's pregnant, like walking around town, and she just keeps kind of disappearing.
Okay.
And you find out that she's this girl that mysteriously disappeared like 30 years ago, and she goes to the church and she looks up in the in kind of the bell tower area, and that's the ring in this movie. So they show like the well ring a couple times, and that's what she thinks the ring is when she sees it. But she looks up the bell tower and the bell is kind of blocking out, and there's light coming in from that, and so that is also the ring. Okay. And below that point, she finds a hidden trap door where the priest of that church,
which is also a ring.
Yes. The priest of that church kidnapped the girl 30 years ago.
Samara?
No.
The mom. Oh, the one
woman
that's been
who ends up being Samara's mother.
Oh, does she not look? Okay, I mean, because Samara's mom is in the first one, combing her hair, isn't she, or brushing her hair? Like that's Samara's mom, wasn't it?
That's part of the video, right?
Yeah.
That's not her mom, because this is her mom.
Oh, okay.
So the priest has a child with this girl and hides her underneath the church, and the child ends up being Samara.
Okay, so all right. I'll ask about that more.
So technically, there are 2 rings. The bell tower one, and then the well one.
So it's not just called rings because of the fact that people are duplicating the video more than once or whatever.
Yes.
And, okay, I'll let me write this down real quick. Mom in trap door. Okay, so
Mom is trap queen.
Charlie, why were they frozen?
What, the umbrella people?
Yeah.
Well,
this might be retreading.
So not just like big old blocks of ice or whatever, but
yeah, I mean they're probably in like
this gets into the motivations of Umbrella Corps, which I'm glad they explained. So the priest guy who was partial, there were 2 owners of Umbrella Corps. Him, who owned 50% of the company, and then the other guy who originally created the T virus. And he originally created it to help cure his daughter. But it ended up turning bad. Like it had
feels like
bad
that backfired.
And he eventually gets killed by the guy who owns the other half. So his ownership gets transferred to his daughter that was temporarily cured, and the priest guy is basically running the company then. Since the other girl is
this priest guy?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's Jorah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jorah.
Sir Jorah Mormont from
and Game of Thrones. He plays Jorah, yeah. And in Resident Evil, he plays Dr. Isaacs.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So his motivation for it is he's going through all these things in the world that, he said like there are tensions between this country and all this. It gets a little preachy in global warming, or it's like the world's going to end in 10 years. But he's listing off all these things, and he's saying it's bound to happen one way or another. So instead of some global catastrophe happening where everybody dies, how about we initiate it ourselves and ensure that some people do, so that way we can basically
kind of just the classic reset button.
Yeah, do a Noah's Ark move, which, I mean, obviously that's really fucked up to kill that many, like, billions of people. But at least then I can understand the rationale of why they did it. So let's go ahead and fast forward to this point where we can at least ensure that humanity will continue. Whereas if it's one of these other ones,
we
like
might have total
nuclear
extinction.
war, it might wipe out everybody.
Wait, hold on.
Rather,
So why did they make the T? So they froze themselves so that they could continue humanity. Why did they make the T virus?
the guy, one of the two owners who had the daughter, made the T virus originally to cure his daughter's disease that she had, which is like
but
an aging thing, and it had bad side effects, and ended up being like it was really easily communicable and everything.
Okay, all right, yeah, all right. I probably
So
just
it was
missed
already
that.
happening,
Got it.
and then and then let's see. So at least I was glad that they had a motivation that makes sense, at least instead of like, let's just kill everybody. Why? Because
fuck you. We're rich people in a fucking room and twiddling our fucking fingers.
They freeze themselves so that hopefully they can come back up then once the world is totally wiped out and all those guys die off, then do the
fresh start
antivirus. Yeah.
All right, so Charlie, would you want to watch the past Resident Evil movies now that you've seen the final one, just to see the full story?
Yes, at least some of them. I don't know like if some of them are unnecessary to watch, but
Gotcha.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I still think I know that it's probably rated pretty low by critics, but I still think the first one is a pretty decent movie. Like,
like a fun action.
I think,
remember seeing it in theaters and being like, coming out and being like, I'm not mad I saw that.
I think it's one of those where people get mad because it's not like a true adaptation of Resident Evil, but I think it's a good adaptation because it changes the story because they're not walking around a mansion, like in the first Resident Evil movie. But I think it changes the story, but still uses the elements in a way that it works.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's like, and it is a adaptation in the way it's like, okay, we're taking these ideas and using them towards this story. I remember liking it a lot when I was younger, and I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, they're always good action flicks. So I would say go back and see them. I'm interested that you would want to see them after seeing the final chapter. So
I definitely got sucked in, and they make you care for her, even though. I know that they showed like she was a clone at one point in one of the movies or something like that.
Yes.
They do a good job of. I was surprisingly sucked into the movie.
Okay. And Steve, I'm going to pose the same question to you. Do you want to watch the past Ring movies after seeing Rings?
I do. I definitely do. This movie, I was under the impression that the older Ring movies were more just like the horror part, like just trying to get away from the girl and kind of it being a feudal sort of situation. But I did recently find out that most of the other movies kind of had a similar element where they're trying
they're damn near mystery movies.
Yeah, that's because the entire time I was like, well, who is that person? And then who were they talking about? Like it really was a mystery, and I had no idea. I thought it was going to be just a creepy movie where you see some gore and stuff when the girl comes out. But now that I realize that they're like suspense movies, which are the kind of scary movies that I like, I'm definitely interested to kind of go back and see how the lore that I found from this movie is built around in the other two.
Steve, you would love Hostel 1 and 2 then. Those are
The
definitely story
lore
driven
is so
and not
deep
gory at all.
So Steve, I'm gonna come back to you here on this question. So the mom was in a trap door. Does she?
Well, it wasn't just a trap door. It was like a trap door to a whole living area.
Is she also killing people, or is it?
No,
just
she's
Samara?
dead now. Like,
okay, is that part of the video? Like this new ring? Is it a new segment of the video? Did they find that in the like when you said the video was like inside of a video that they're trying? Did they find this new video where they see the other ring?
Well, the new video is like basically a collection of visions that lead her to Samara. So yeah, the new ring is in that video.
Okay, I gotcha. Charlie, do you have? Actually, I don't know if I have another question for you right now. I'm just gonna have to do another Steve question that I have written down here.
That's fine.
So what? How many awkward nerd moments were there with Leonard?
Not that many, to be completely honest. He's kind of like a scientist pretty much. So he's kind of doing an experiment. So most of the times they're not awkward. He just kind of is there and like tells them like, I found this video. This is what I think is happening. If you make a cop, he basically goes through all the research. Like, here's where I went because I found the video. I've done all this research. Here's where I think the town is. Like, she should be here. Like, her body should be here somewhere. All that stuff. He does die pretty gruesomely.
Oh shit, he dies?
Yeah,
nice.
They're trying to get. They're up in the town, and
shit, you're talking about the movie.
Yeah,
I want to say that the main characters die in all of the Ring movies.
So what happens is he figures something out, and he goes to follow them back to the town because they're up in the town, like researching the Samara stuff. And what happens is the girl, the main character, she gets burned on her hand, and he realizes that something is written on her hand in Braille. And he's coming up to the town to tell them, and then they're going somewhere to like try and find the body. And the
Wait, the girl is in the main girl or
the main girl?
Okay,
the main girl is Julia. I'll start calling her Julia.
Okay, to make it when you say the girl, it's just confusing because
they call her the girl. Yeah, I'm sorry. So Julia,
you should be.
So Julia is going with her boyfriend to try and find the body of Samara. And the road's closed because there's been an accident. They get out of the car and find Johnny Galecki's car like in a ditch upside down. Like, it's actually more of a creek than a ditch, which becomes important.
Oh, okay.
Because she goes down there and he's like, I have to tell you something, and she's like, what? And
this is a creek, not a ditch.
It's important that you know this. Make the distinction.
Well,
please.
As she's trying to talk to him, she's like, tell me what is it? Her boyfriend has to come down and drag her out of the way because a power pole hits the car and the transformer hits the water and electrocutes him to death.
Nice.
Yowza.
And I was like, oh, crap. What?
Was it Ironhide?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, what?
From
you
Transformers?
I was thinking Ironside, the detective in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he was called.
He's like, all right, boys. Looks like he was in a creek, not a ditch.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to call in somebody with working legs to handle this one.
Because that is a hill with rocks, and I'm in a wheelchair.
Wow.
I just feel like it would be pretty rough to try to roll your wheelchair down a hill.
I mean, I agree with that.
A dirt hill with rocks.
I think the down would be the easy part.
Can somebody help me back up? I made it down here, and it's definitely a creek.
I apologize to our viewers.
that are huge Ironside fans.
Not to the people in wheelchairs, only to the Ironside fans. They know what a real struggle is.
Like in...
Oh my god. I feel like I'm always the only voice of reason.
I just explained my reasoning.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Charlie was 100% the voice of reason there. Charlie, what, I mean, I feel like I'm going to pose this to both of you, and I know that one is going to be astronomically more than the other, but Charlie, what was the body count in your movie? Let's go.
I mean, came fucking...
As in, how many people did Alice?
Humans are everything that is, I guess, somewhat...
okay, let's go. How many humans did Alice kill?
Probably close to like 20. I mean, there's not that many people left on Earth.
But she made sure to kill them.
Oh, yeah.
But she's making good work on making it an absolute zero.
Steve, how many people did Samara kill?
1, 2, I guess 3, 4.
Probably
if we're
10.
talking zombies, though.
I think 4.
Thousands
of zombies. Expendable. Were any zombies harmed in the making of this film?
I hope so.
Charlie, was the final chapter do you think that it's an actual final chapter? Do you think that they're going to go back and make another Resident Evil? Or do you think it was a wrap up where all the questions and let's say loose threads or whatever, was there anything that after when the movie ended where you're like, well, what about this?
Okay, so granted, I don't have the context of the other movies to have those.
Correct.
But I would say it's a good one where they can definitely end it. And there are other adventures, more or less, that you could go on where it would be okay. The best way I could sum it up is
so
like
is it going to go to the
end,
Friday the 13th route where the final chapter?
No, not
okay.
like this. It would be like this. Imagine some of the Assassin's Creed games and like Arkham Knight. You beat the game, you finish the story, but then you can still roam that world if you want. So I guess they could do another one where she's out there, but it would just be her like killing remaining zombies or whatever.
Yeah,
but the story is done.
I gotcha. There's nothing that she is striving for other than to just kill all the zombies.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And
there are some reveals and stuff. Sorry, there are some reveals and stuff into the ending, but it's not worth saying in the podcast, even if I lose, just because you probably will watch this. So.
Oh, okay. And then Steve, do you think that this is going to be an end to the Ring franchise, or do you think did they set up another movie that they want to do?
It is absolutely not the end of the Ring series.
Oh shit!
Because so here's what happens.
Is the sequel gonna be Rings with an apostrophe?
Rings is a VR experience.
Well, no, it's gonna be real easy because they're just gonna have Golem say Rings, and that'll take care because it'll be like Rings, and that'll be the next title.
Perfect. They just so.
Because
when they showed the title or in all the trailers, it's going to be a soundbite of Gollum saying
they'll just never show the title.
Which by the way, about half
will be black, and then it'll have a little speaker on it. You hit a button, it's like Ringsies.
Because to be fair, about halfway through this movie, I gave up all hope of Samwise and Frodo showing up and taking care of it. It's just putting an end to these rings.
Well, you should have known that because there's only one ring. In those movies, this was multiple rings, so you should have known that they were going to show up to get rid of multiple.
There are multiple rings, but there's only one.
Yeah,
there's
only one. Yeah, exactly. They're not going to get rid of all the fucking elven rings and all the dwarven rings and all the
Ringspan.
Yeah, they're not. They're getting rid of the one ring that rules them all.
Fair
they're
enough.
not trying to get rid of all of them. So that's on you, thinking that they would show up.
Clearly it's my fault.
Let's just go to final thoughts. I think I've asked enough. Oh no, yeah.
Well,
No, Steve has.
Well, the question is, do you want me to ruin the ending by explaining why?
Do you feel like I'm fine in hearing it. Do you think it's something that would ruin the viewing experience if you told me this? Or?
No, because it gets real obvious.
Okay. All right, then So what's
basically what happens is they go and Vincent D'Onofrio's in this film.
Oh shit! Why didn't you start out with that?
Because I was saving it for now, and that's why I really stopped.
Oh man!
So Vincent D'Onofrio turns out to be the old priest that was the father of Samara.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
I thought that this was shit. I guess I don't know my time. Like I thought that the ring stuff happened like fucking in
I believe it.
Scarlet Letter times.
No, that's what I thought too.
Times.
But
that's
apparently,
what it looks like.
Apparently, it was 30 years ago.
It was actually in the village.
It's one of the houses.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense because that's why it looks like olden times, but it is current times. Thanks, M. Night Shyamalan, for finally making something useful.
Man, everybody's talking about Split and The Visit. No, I'm not seeing those movies because I learned my lesson. I don't care if he makes a good movie, and the stupid quote unquote twist at the end of Split. Have you guys read that?
No, I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
It means nothing to me.
It's a sequel. It turns out that it's a sequel to Unbreakable.
Oh, nice.
Because it ends with they gave this guy a name. Didn't they give somebody? What was that name they gave? Mr.
Glass.
Mr. Glass. And the camera goes over and it's Bruce Willis sitting there and he's like, "That's what they called him."
Huh?
And then he
Was
leaves.
he smirking?
Probably. I don't know. I didn't see the movie. I'm not going to. That's
anyway,
he
so
was
dumb.
alive, so he
Unbreakable
was.
is so stupid.
I love Unbreakable, so
Well, that's where there's not a single M. Night Shyamalan movie I've ever liked.
fair enough. Anyway,
But think, Steve, that's like taking any movie, then at the end being like, "Oh, this thing happened. Hey, wasn't there a guy one time called?"
no, I agree with you, but I do like Unbreakable. Anyway, so Vincent D'Onofrio is Samara's father, and he finds out what she's doing, and he blinded himself so that he can never see her or the ring, so that she can never kill him.
Is that how that works?
I
guess
don't-
so.
apparently.
or you
Except
can
for
not watch it.
Except for the fact that Julia is there, and there's a portion because since he's blind now, there's a portion where it kind of turns into "Don't Breathe," like she gets away from him, and like he's got to find her in the house. But anyway, she finds the bones of Samara, which are upstairs, like encased in a wall, and
were they set up like in the full bone, like hanging from an exhibit, like bones of Samara,
but
with a wig on top of him.
Julia releases Samara, and Samara gives Vincent D'Onofrio his sight back, and then kills him.
Okay,
and then
she has powers.
She's like one of those Sour Patch Kids in the commercials.
Yeah,
I didn't know that she had powers like that.
Apparently, she does. So Julia and her boyfriend burn Samara's bones to release her, and then Julia goes back with him to wherever, and he gets the voicemail from Johnny Galecki that says the thing on her hand is Braille. So he's looking up what that means in Braille. Meanwhile,
I thought you were gonna say he's looking up what that means.
Yeah,
what does it mean?
What's Braille? So Julia's in the shower, and that's when she gets like
when he comes up to her and says, "What does it say?"
No. So like, there's that patch of like in the trailer. There's that patch of skin that's coming off her hand.
Yeah.
And like she starts pulling that away, and then she pukes up this like ball of hair where a cicada comes out of, and it cuts back to her boyfriend, and he types in the last Braille letter, and it says, and like the burn on her hand says rebirth, and then her video with her video with embedded videos. All the embedded videos come out, and they like auto email to like every person she's ever known, and like it just sends out like 50,000 Ring videos.
Damn.
So wait, so why is she trying to do this? If you said they were burning her bones to like set her free,
because
or something,
she thought she was setting her free, but like she looks up in the mirror and Samara is like looking back at her because she's basically turning into Samara, and she was like, and Samara just says, "It will never be over," And so it's basically just like restarting.
Wait, hold on. Samara says that?
Yeah, because Samara is in the mirror, and so like Julia is the new Samara, and so
I'm looking at the Samara
in the mirror.
Yeah.
I'm asking it to kill some people. 7 days.
So yeah, basically that's why the show or the movie can keep going, because it's kind of started anew. With a whole new video chain.
It's trying to revive the franchise. I gotcha.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do you think that it can be the end? Where you're just like, well, shit, this is going on, and everybody's fucked no matter what.
I definitely think if they wanted to stop it, I think it's a decent ending. But it also just leaves the door open for more.
It's kind of
these
funny
movies.
because I honestly feel like that's the end of the other two, where it's just like, nope, this is gonna happen regardless, so you're all dead.
Yeah, if it were me, I would end it like, I won't spoil it on here, but like Cabin in the Woods style, where show it being uploaded to YouTube or something where, okay, and then just leave it like, okay, pretty much fucked. That's how we're going to end it. It's like, everybody.
Yeah, just show her, just like a montage of her killing people to the Benny Hill soundtrack.
Or like Jay and Silent Bob, when they go around and find all the people on the internet to just get their asses.
Did you write this? All right, so let's go to final thoughts here. Steve just had a good amount to talk about Rings, so I'll put it to you, Charlie. I know you said you don't want to give away some stuff in Resident Evil. But let's still just hear some final thoughts. What are some things you wanted to bring up that you haven't, or whatever? Yeah.
Good action sequences, good hand-to-hand combat sequences, which I thought were important. There's like this tank
that she fights barehanded.
Yeah, the tank goes like 2 miles per hour, and it's designed to go that fast. I don't know if
it's designed to go 2 miles per hour.
No, hold on. It's designed to go that way to then be able to get hordes like built up, so they can just set it on cruise, and it's just fast enough that they can't keep up. But I mean, then they have like 20,000 of these zombies behind them, and they're constantly running, and the tank's just, going really slow.
Gotcha.
So at one point they toss her out the back.
Wait, so you say? I'm sorry. You say that
she has to just keep. Oh, God.
You're saying that the zombies can run, but I guess they're not running like 28 days later running, like Rage Virus running. They're
yeah, not that fast. I mean, it wasn't 2 miles per hour, but it was fast enough where like a human could run up and catch it. But they're kind of fucked up though, so they can't really fully run that well.
I gotcha. All right, so
what
does
they
it do?
Tie her out in the back with her handcuffs and like a chain going to there, so she has to just keep running behind it. And they're like, you'll tell us the information we need to know eventually once you get too tired to keep running. So it's just hours and hours of her doing that, trying to stay away from the zombies. And some of them are fast enough to catch up to her, but then she just has to kill them with her kicking skills and stuff. But there's some combat
skills
on top of the tank while it's moving that was really cool between her and Isaacs. And there are multiple Isaacs in the movie. This is a clone fest for sure. But it is kind of cool that I can go into some stuff without spoiling the major parts. Like, she releases the antivirus at the end, but you pretty much assume that that's going to happen. But that's not even – I wouldn't even say that's really the ending to the story. There's other parts that I won't go into. But when she meets the final Isaacs, and he's the final one because he comes up from the cryo storage, and she's like, oh, so this is the real you. Then who was the other guy? Just another clone? And he's saying, yeah, there's tons of clones of me. And she goes, but he really thought that he was the original one. And the guy says, yeah, I mean, that's the only way we can get them to do what they want, or what we want them to do, is if they think that they're the original. Yeah. And at one point, there are two Isaacs and an Alice, like, having a conversation. And the other one sees the other Isaacs when he's coming up. And he's like, who are you? He's like, I'm the original Isaacs. You're just a clone, blah, blah, blah. And this guy is so fanatic then that he gets pissed off and kills the original Isaac.
Oh, shit.
Like the actual original Isaacs?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
The guy was being so smug to him. He's like, you're just a clone. I'm the original, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's like, no, I'm the original. It stabs the shit out of him.
He stabs him? He doesn't even shoot him?
We didn't have a gun. Like, guns are pretty scarce in the movie as far as ammo and stuff.
I mean, that makes sense.
Okay.
No one's really making.
There's
No
still
one's
a
really
fair
making
amount of them,
You can
but
reload your own
it's
ammo.
not something where you.
I
don't
forever.
know.
There's like 20,000 zombies that they kill. Like, you can't. Oh, let me just make.
Let me go pick up all the shells.
Yeah,
in
let me
the
just pull out a batch
A
of
lot.
20 grand.
When there's the huge zombie killing sequence, they're up on top of this tower. It's almost like one of those mega blocks from Judge Dredd,
yeah.
where it's a huge. It's
No,
a circular
Dredd,
tower.
not Judge Dredd. Dredd.
Yeah, Dredd.
No, we need to talk about Judge.
It's got an opening on the inside, so it's like a huge cylinder, and all these zombies are pouring in. And one of their main weapons they have is they have plenty of gasoline. That they have drums and drums and drums of. So they just start pouring it down into the center, just like a waterfall, and eventually they just throw down a bunch of torches, and I mean, it would smell so terrible. They kill so many zombies. Like, there's cool sequences all throughout.
I love the smell of dead zombies in the morning.
I like it anytime.
Since I haven't seen the other movies, I think they should go to a lot of places inside the hive that were in the other movies. Like, there's some area where they're in these glass cubes that are kind of suspended in the air, which that looked like the way they presented that as if it were in some of the other movies and some of the different rooms and things like that. Plenty of huge creature zombies, not a ton of them, but enough where you get
Does
your
Nemesis
fill.
make a return?
Who?
Nemesis, I mean, he's a huge Resident Evil villain. He's
a big dude. He's kind of got like a weird, basically
like
flesh face, and his like mouth's open. Like you can basically just see his gums and teeth.
Yeah.
So.
You think so?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was actually, I remember when the second one came out, and I watched it with my dad. That was back when Netflix was just DVDs, and we got that, and I remember watching that and just being like, it looked so bad. Like, it looked so much like just a rubber suit that some dude was wearing. It was like, and we were like, what the fuck is this shit?
Alice punches off the heads of many zombies just with her hand.
Thank God.
Oh, shit. That's fucking awesome.
Pre or post fingerless?
And those ones are always like the fat zombies.
Yeah, that's an important question.
Bodies, and it's just like some huge molded body.
Steve just asked an important question. Was that pre or post fingers?
Well, she does it a couple times. Hold on. I want to say almost all of them are beforehand, but there might have been one post.
Beforehand. They were all beforehand. Or I guess they were all during hand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they got the ragtag team of survivors, and one of them is like a mole for Umbrella Corps, and she goes through figuring that out.
Like a mole person.
Scene with a classic huge fan in a tunnel, and then they have to get through it before it turns on. They make it, and then the one guy who looks like the video game character, I can never remember his name, is like, reverse the polarity, and then it starts sucking it back in, and enough where, I mean, this fan is fucking huge to the point where it is lifting some of the characters up and feeding them through the fan.
Shit.
Yes.
Steve, are you done with your final thoughts, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, the plot's more or less straightforward enough, other than the stuff that I won't get into. But no, it's fun. I mean,
All right, Steve.
I enjoyed myself more than I thought I would.
Steve, let's hear some final thoughts.
I liked it. It definitely made me. I don't know much about the ring thing, so I wasn't sure. I didn't know if the other ones talked about the lore, but I definitely thought this was really good as kind of like back-building the lore for a movie that I've seen some about, but I never really knew anything about. Like it definitely drew me in, and like I said before, it definitely made me want to see the other ones to see like how these pieces fit together.
Gotcha.
Like I don't know about the other ones, but it's like Paranormal Activity 3. That's the one with the two daughters, like the previous one,
in the
when they're younger.
Grandparents' house.
Well, I don't know if they're with the grandparents.
I know what you're talking about.
The one that's like set
when they're
in the
when they're
80s.
kids. Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Like I saw the first two and I thought they were okay, but the third one I actually thought was really good and drew
it was
me
a
in.
welcome change. Yeah.
And if I had seen that one first, I definitely would have seen the other ones, and I probably would have been disappointed with them. But it so far it was like the one of the Paranormal Activities that I did like, where it kind of like set the groundwork for the things that I know have been happening.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Before I say, what I picked, Charlie, you said there was a movie versus first. Do you want to mention that before I say my choices, or do you want to say
It doesn't matter.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll make my choice, and then we'll go into stuff like that.
Sure.
You can mention it on Real Thoughts or whatever. So I think that, first off, I do want to preface that I want to see both of these movies, and I told Charlie and Steve both that Steve, you were talking about seeing the movie, and I almost actually, because you were like, oh, I'll see it this morning, and I almost said, oh yeah, I mean, I'll go with you if you're, and then I was like, fuck, no, I can't, because I have to fucking, god damn it.
Okay, you can come see the movie with me, but you can just sit in the corner with like headphones on and a blindfold, so you'll just pay $5 to sit in a dark room.
and then
after I saw my movie and Steve made his pitch for his, I don't really think you can make a bad choice here.
No, yeah, and then also I think it was over the weekend one morning I was like, oh, maybe I'll go. What am I doing today? Maybe I'll see a movie. What's in theaters? Oh shit, Resident Evil. Oh fuck, no, I can't see Resident Evil. I gotta. so I do.
Trials and tribulations of running a podcast.
I do. Like both these movies interest me in a way where it's like, oh, I mean, I can see myself enjoying myself in this theater, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Resident Evil.
It's okay. It's okay. Honestly, I'm fine with like Charlie said. This is the one time where like if you pick me, great, but if you pick the other one, like it was a well fought battle.
No, I still want to see both, but then with the thing with Resident Evil is the way Charlie described it. I think that it makes me more excited to wait for it to come out on video out of theaters, and then just get like a Resident Evil pack of all the movies, and then just fucking watch all of them and see it in like from start to finish. Whereas, because that sounds like it has more of a finish to it, whereas yours sounds like Rings sounds like it's more of a, oh hey, we're trying to make more, we're trying to remilk this cow, and
I see where you're coming from.
And I'm not sure if I could sit down and watch Ring 1 through 3, and also just because it sounds almost too similar to the older Ring movies.
Okay. I don't know. Like if I had seen the other ones, I may have tried to like tweak what I said away from that.
Oh no. That's one of the things though with that movie. The first one had a pretty decent story as far as a horror movie goes, but then it's hard to not make sequels to that without retreading old grounds.
Because there's not really anywhere to go with what it is.
Exactly. So let's go with Real Thoughts. I'll start with Charlie. Charlie, you can tell us what you thought, and then say the movie versus a movie versus first, I guess.
Sure. So for my movie, whenever I had seen like commercials and stuff for Resident Evil, I always thought it looked like this just looks like shitty video game movies or something. This genuinely did make me interested in seeing the other ones, and I probably will go back and watch them at some point. My biggest problems with this movie were from a technical aspect.
The plot, the shooting, the audio.
No. When I say that about 25% of this movie was edited like that scene from Taken, where Liam Neeson is jumping over the bridge.
Oh, fuck.
There were parts where I got disoriented.
That's Taken
from
3.
The editing.
That's Taken 3,
yeah,
isn't it?
Taken 3.
Have you
There
seen
are
that,
parts
Steve?
where
Yeah, you showed
It's
me
like
that.
11 shots in 7 seconds or something
Yeah.
of Liam Neeson just jumping over a fence.
Yeah,
and
It's
and there are
super
parts like that where
disorienting.
I was almost disoriented in a theater, and where it's
Fuck.
like somebody could get a seizure from this. Now it's not
That's-
all of the movie, but they do some of that, I'm sure, just to save money on the action sequence or whatever, because it makes it seem like
I don't know,
crazy
because you got to
something.
shoot each scene. You have to fucking set up and shoot each shot. Like
No,
each of those little clips.
They,
like
did
have
bullet.
to-
They did bullet time shots for it, so they set up like 1,500
Unless they
cameras.
just had like 3 cameras going though of 2 people fighting.
I mean, that's
where they can't
as far
see
as
each
I'm
other.
aware, that's pretty rare to set up multiple cameras for one shot. But then again, I've never worked on a big budget.
And a lot of it was
You know,
probably just
whatever.
CGI too.
That's probably true.
It's just bam, 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 bam. I mean, so many, multiple within a second, just to the point where that was probably my biggest problem with the movie. Is that like, okay, chill on that a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as the
Shit.
story, I mean, obviously it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was intriguing, and I do
Mm-hmm.
want to see the other ones. So, yeah, I mean,
gotcha. What's-
I've definitely enjoyed myself. I thought I would end up like being bored and checking my phone and stuff, but really once I was in there, pretty straightforward all the way through to
What
the
do
end. I
you-
was
what do
watching.
you- what do
Only
you-
one thing distracted me.
And is that the movie versus first?
Yeah,
Which was?
movie versus first. Can you guess it?
It's a movie that you didn't walk out of prematurely and actually finish
There
to
was
the end.
there was there
No, I do that for all the
I
other
know.
ones.
Was there, like-
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I mean, was there like giant schlong in it or something? Was that I don't know if we watched.
Not in the movie.
But in the theater next to you.
Or between his
Presumably.
legs. What is? what-
There were about 4 other people in the theater with me. I was in the back row by myself, and I was the last person to come in. So everybody saw me come in, and then about 4 or 5 rows in front of me, there's a lady and a dude, and she was helping him look for something in his van.
What?
I noticed, like,
What?
halfway through, and I was like, "Oh,
She was just
Oh.
sucking his dick in the middle row of the theater.
what?" I'm sorry.
She was sucking his dick in the middle row of the theater.
Yeah.
What?
And they saw me come in. If I would have been in there beforehand, and it's dark, so they might not have seen me. They thought they were the only people in the back. Nobody else could see them. It's not fine, but it's more understandable. But they saw me come in when there were still lights on and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
The balls on that.
All I can say is like
dick.
like what part of that movie are you like, yeah,
Correct.
this is sexy. I need
Probably-
to
I mean,
need to
probably
be
the-
having some sexual
Pro-
intercourse during this.
Probably the part where you're like, man, I'd rather be sucking some dick than watching this movie right now.
No, you know what happened? That guy was like, "Oh man, her fingers got cut off. You're gonna need to help me out now."
No, but it was quite interesting because she had on a bun in the back of her head, and I noticed that in the profile of the light. I was like, wow, if that's on the back of her head, that would mean her face is
Oh,
oh.
my!
How long would you say it took?
Well, I can't really estimate because I didn't see it from the beginning,
I gotcha.
but it was a good probably like 15 minutes from when I
Oof.
saw it originally.
So she wasn't very good.
We don't need to dwell on it. I just thought it would be the movie versus first.
That is
sexual,
insane.
That's
sexual experience in theater.
I've never seen.
I've always
never
heard
seen
it as a
in
joke.
theaters.
Like I've always heard it as a joke. Like, oh man, just go in the back. And lights are out. But like the fact that it really,
popcorn bucket.
yeah, I always thought it was just like an urban legend that anything like that really did happen.
It's crazy that I've never seen that before. I mean, I've made out in a theater before or whatever, but like to see someone get their dick sucked.
Well, yeah, during Schindler's List.
Oh, I mean,
I was gonna make that joke too.
oh, but you don't
You're
even watch Seinfeld.
I know, but I know that joke.
But yeah, I was pretty shocked. And then luckily there was enough action going on where I could go back and focus on the movie again.
You could
But I
focus
won't
on.
lie.
Oh,
You
could
should have
focus-
gone down to go to the
Every minute-
bathroom.
Every few minutes I,
was-
would glance down to see like. Yep,
So,
that's
I mean,
still
so,
happening.
so you could continue masturbating.
Yeah.
You needed something to help every now and then. You were like, oh, okay, that's happened. Okay, we got it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I found it halfway through because I was struggling through the first half.
Exactly. Yeah, you were. Yeah. Steve, what are real thoughts on your movie?
It was okay. Like, it definitely drug out in the middle, and I'm like you, I am thoroughly confused about, like, I thought Samara happened in like the 1800s. Like, where do you find a well to throw her in?
30 years ago.
Yeah. I was just completely confused about when, like, how he was the father.
Because wait, hold on. 30 years ago would be like, what, the 80s?
It was, 70s or 80s or something. So, like,
that's just...
So, like it was happening, and I was just completely confused. Because, like, I, like you, thought, yeah, this happened, like, a long time ago, because that's when you throw girls in well.
Yeah,
like, you don't,
the mom was having to wear a big old A on her chest during this one.
And then... And so, like, it was one of those things where I wasn't sure if I missed something from not seeing the other movies, or if they were legitimately just making this super convoluted all of a sudden. And other than that,
not just convoluted, convenient.
Yeah, like, overall, I thought it was good. Like, it really was a mission. I was kind of like trying to follow along, like, how does all this stuff fit together? And it does kind of make me want to see the other ones, to see how it does fit together, to see if, like, it kind of shines some light on it. But I was taking notes like I usually do, and I thought, like, maybe I missed something while I was taking notes. But I was like, if I missed something while I, like, for a moment turned on my phone to get just enough light to, like, write something, just I couldn't even read the letters I was drawing. I was just, like, making sure that I was in the same line.
Yeah.
Like, if there was something that important that I missed in that way, is that really a well done plot point?
Yeah.
I did want to mention, I'm sure there will be more things that come to me, but were you good, Steve, for a second?
No, yeah, I'm good.
So, you know that actress Ruby Rose?
Yeah,
Ruby Rose, she's Australian, isn't she?
Yeah, she's that girl from Orange Is the New Black that, like, got really popular.
Isn't she dating somebody she's in Triple X, isn't she? The newest one?
She's in Triple X. She's going to be in John Wick 2, and she's in this, all playing, like, what is presumably the exact same character. I'm going to hold a big-ass gun like this, and fuck you if you think I'm, like, weak at all. Like,
who does she...
Okay.
I feel like she's dating another Australian actress that's pretty big as well.
Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, thank you. I was being very literal when I said she was pretty big.
But she was in the movie, and she played her same character, and she did get sucked into the fan. So that was fun to see for me. I was like,
all right. Hold on. Let me take another bathroom break here, and then we'll do critic stuff.
There were a good amount of fun kills, though. People, like, getting their heads just lopped off and stuff that were quite entertaining.
All right, so let's see what the critics had to say. And this is where we're going to get into a movie versus first, where Rings is the lowest rated movie that has ever been watched on
remember
this
that
podcast.
time when we were remember that time when we were like, oh man, I hope it's not good enough that it excludes itself.
Yeah, I didn't want to tell you guys.
Me,
I didn't want to tell you guys, but that Thursday when the reviews came out, it was at 0%. And I was like, wow, I'm not worried at all. It is currently at a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I believe is the lowest rated movie that we've seen on this podcast.
We should go through and keep a record of it at some point.
And the critics...
I can put together a spreadsheet.
Thanks.
And the Google Doc.
The critics' consensus that... Oh, by the way, that's at an average rating of 2.9 out of 10 with 55 reviews, 3 being fresh, the rest being rotten. The critics' consensus is Rings may offer ardent fans of the franchise a few threadbare thrills, but for everyone else, it may feel like an endless loop of muddled mythology and rehashed plot points.
See, and that might be the problem. Like, I probably enjoyed it a little bit more than most people because I hadn't seen the other ones. So, like, it was, like, new to me, and I was like, oh, okay, all right.
This might be something. This is a rotten review. Steve, you might agree with this. It's not a terrible setup, but Rings doesn't end up doing much with its fresh ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that because, like, there's so much time spent doing the stuff that we're used to seeing that there's no time at the end for anything else.
I would give this rotten review a rotten rating because it is ring down the curtain. This franchise revival is not Saved by the Bell. Boo.
Wow.
Hey, I guess it's now that we know the Bell
Mark
thing.
Paul
I'll give them
Gosselaar
a
was
little
not
credit
on it.
for that.
Wait, I'm sorry. You guys have to speak one at a time.
Yeah, sorry.
Charlie?
I was gonna say I'd give them a little bit of credit because of the bell thing in the movie being the other ring, but it's still pretty shit.
And what did you say, Steve?
I said that Mark Paul Gosselaar was nowhere in this film. so using a Saved by the Bell reference is not relevant.
An actual positive review is fans of the franchise will probably be pleased. Too many horror sequels are content merely to recycle what worked the first time.
But they literally did that. Like, I don't understand.
Maybe that's what she's saying. I don't know. If crap movies carried penalties for inflicting torture on audiences, then Rings would merit a death sentence.
Jesus.
And then Resident Evil, the final chapter, is at a 33%, which is an average rating of 4.4 out of 10 with 69 reviews counted, 23 of them fresh, 46 rotten.
Lots of sexy things associated with this movie for me.
Critics' consensus being Resident Evil, one of them, Charlie, by the way, being zombies getting their heads blown off is a sexy thing. That's Critics' consensus being Resident Evil, the final chapter, may prove mind-numbingly chaotic for the unconverted, but for fans of the venerable franchise, it offers a fittingly kinetic conclusion to its violent post-apocalyptic saga.
I don't know that you can call this franchise venerable.
One of the rotten reviews is just promises.
Fellatio-inspiring movie.
Hey, Resident Evil, know when to stay dead. Oh, got him. It's relentless, monotonous, and just not much fun. Positive reviews being boasting a higher body count than its IQ. Resident Evil, the final chapter, is violent, idiotic fun.
Nobody has an IQ of like 10,000.
Well, the franchise has slackened into dependably dumb post-apocalyptic thrills. Star Mila Jovovich, my bad, has only gotten better, seasoning her long-legged athleticism with a commanding stare.
Long-legged or long legacy?
Legged.
Okay, this guy's weird.
The legs go all the way up to her butt.
Yeah, dude, who would have known? The climax makes for a satisfying conclusion to the franchise, an ending which this writer expects and even hopes all concerned will studiously ignore when they get around to making the next one. That was a positive review. And then one more rotten one. The outcome is guaranteed to try anyone's patience. That's all for both of these movies as far as Rotten Tomatoes is concerned. I feel like this is the end of the podcast, isn't it?
That's all I've got.
Yeah, I would say my movie, I probably would have shaved like maybe 10-15 minutes off it, but I definitely enjoy myself. This is one of the better experiences in theaters that I've had for movies as of late, it feels like.
For mine, they definitely could have made the leap to Samara's mom and everything like a little bit quicker. Like they kind of walked around that town for a little too long, but
gotcha.
So like it went on a little. But however, I say that, but like my movie was probably an hour and a half long. Like
it was almost 2 hours.
That is not because I got out of there at 11:45, and there was so many trailers.
We're gonna take a second. I'm looking it up on IMDb. How long this movie is? Let's see.
Like maybe an hour 40 or an hour 45. I'll give it an hour 45.
It is 102 minutes, which means
so that's an hour and 42 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on Rotten Tomatoes, it said it was like an hour and 50 something minutes.
No, it was a little bit thinner than that. So
Rotten Tomatoes says an hour and 57 minutes.
Yes, and maybe they might be concluding literally all of the credits.
Every second of the credits.
Because the movie was not that long. Like and the problem is that it wasn't that long, and they probably could have trimmed it down a touch more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, other than that, I guess check us out on the old socials.
Can I bring up one more thing I forgot? She's fighting this Asian guy who they of course have the Asian guy know all the kung fu and stuff, and he's beating her ass because he's so quick. And at one point she gets knocked to the ground and she goes, "You're fast, huh?" And he kind of goes like, smirks and dusts his shoulder off or whatever. And then she goes, "But you're pretty stupid." And then just pulls a shotgun out from underneath the car, just boom, right in his chest. It's like, oh,
That's very funny.
If you had lost
The
this
triple
one,
barrel shotgun.
if you had lost this one, Charlie, it would have been because you waited until now. For that.
Yeah. Man, other than that, though, check us out on the socials, the @Movie Versus Podcast, Twitter, Facebook. We're on 3 Wise Media on YouTube. Other than that, thanks to Jeremy Lamb for the theme song, Scott Blackwell for the logo. What do we got, Steve? Anything else?
You said 3 Wise, but did you mention our friends over at Good Bad or Bad Bad?
Oh yeah, Good Better Bad Bad. Check them out. Their YouTube channel. They talk about bad movies as well.
It's kind of a similar thing, but it's only one a week. They kind of both.
I think it's every other week.
Oh, is it every other week?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I think they show clips from the movies and
yeah.
It's pretty.
It's a little fun. It's an in-depth look at one film a week.
And apparently one of the guys in Good Bad or Bad Bad, Kyle, was in Gone Girl.
I just saw that.
He got third billing, but that's still better than nothing.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean,
that means he beat out Neil Patrick Harris.
He should. He should have asked for more, but Rosamund Pike is just real stern on her stance. Anyway, other than that, I guess that's it. Bye.
Steve, say something funny for afterwards.
I don't have anything.
Classic.
Why didn't you just say something funny instead of asking me to say something funny?
Can you guys believe, though, that I saw someone getting their dick sucked?
That is insane.
Movie Versus is a production of 3 Wise Media. For more information, check us out on Facebook.